And then I think we've touched quite a lot of the background. We now go into the actual election, the preparation to the election. With the Zimbabwe Electoral Commission, with Justice Chigumba as the head, there's been quite a lot of questions that have been asked in terms of the credibility, the voters flow, the transportation of ballots and everything. What does that, what is the position on the ground? And based on your analysis, would that be something that would swing the vote in terms of favor and Zanu-PF?
I think, like I said earlier, that there is a competition between the party and the state. So because of that, there is no way that Zanu-PF will form itself to lose the election. So the president is the appointing authority for the ZEC chairperson. So because of that, there's obviously interest. And you're talking of a government that came in through a coup. So there's no way that a government, because what you understand is a coup will beget another coup. Once there's a route for a coup, then there's also a potential for another coup, because that precedence is wrong. And I believe because they got power to a coup, there's no way that they will then have a ZEC that is really pro change, or that is not pro Zanu-PF. It's not possible. Yes, you can say ZEC is independent, but we know who was the appointing authority in the history of the Zimbabwean elections, and generally the public institutions in Zimbabwe, they are part of the system. They are Zanified, if we were to use that word, that they are really part of the system. So yes, we raise a lot of questions in terms of the credibility of ZEC. But I think, yes, the system can be difficult, the system can be pro the incumbent president. But I believe if people go out and vote in their numbers, it's very difficult to manipulate the voters this way. So it's really upon the Zimbabweans to go out and vote, regardless of all these stories around the credibility of ZEC. Okay, so we would also again want to understand if our viewers think ZEC is credible, or if our elections are free and fair. Again, place your comments in our comments section on the YouTube or the Facebook channels. As we continue, so are you convinced that then the elections will be free and fair? If not, why should we hold elections if we already know that they are not free and fair? I think I would say democracy will follow us. I don't think we can be in any election that can really say the conditions are free and fair. Yes, someone once said that it's not the voting that matters, but it's the count who counts that matters. So I don't think we can ever really have the conditions where everything is really free and fair. There's always a way where the playing field is tilted to someone's favor. And I think even in this election, yes, it's mostly tilted to Zanu-PF. But still, even in that environment, it's possible to have a credible election. It's not be exactly free and fair 100%, but we can be able to produce a credible election even under those conditions. Okay. And then the regional bodies, SADC, AU, do you think they've done enough in terms of ensuring the credibility of the election? I think SADC and AU, they've done their part in terms of the legal provisions, in terms of what they can do to make sure that Zimbabweans go to elections in a peaceful way and the elections are free and fair. But the only challenge that the SADC government had is that they are in Southern Africa. If Zanu-PF loses, it will be the first, it will be difficult in terms of the revolutionary parties in Southern Africa who went to war and displayed the white rule. So there's always that natural inclination to ruling parties because there's some bit of entitlement that they have. You remember during Thabo Mbeki's era that they had to convince Tsvangirai to work with Mugabe because they didn't want that radical move where power goes to the opposition. They didn't want that precedence. They still want that. So I believe there's still that inclination towards that. But I believe they would do anything within the provisions of the constitution and the law to make sure that the vote is protected. Yes. So this one is one of those tough ones again. This is a bit of a South Africa-Zimbabwe question. If Nelson Chamisa wins, do you think it would give more
power or more juice to the EFF story. Young, red, radical, and all looking towards change and removing the incumbent Liberation Party.
Obviously, the road to change is not an easy one, it's a very long road to change. So I think EFF might need to be a bit patient and also to mature in politics, because yes, you can have the populist idea in terms of what the masses want, but you also need to mix that with that maturity. And I believe EFF, yes, they're a popular party and they're radical, but I think they still need to take themselves in a way that people will not see them as just a radical movement of people that probably just want to take South Africa to the extreme side. So yes, they will draw motivation from Zimbabwe that young people can do it, but I think they still have more years to build their brand and be more relevant and more mature as well.
Okay. So today, all of a sudden, there was this announcement that President Mugabe is going to do a press conference, and he held the conference earlier on. He came out in the opening saying he will not vote for his oppressors because he said the government has been oppressing him. Also, he fell short of endorsing Nelson Chamisa, but he did highlight some incline towards Nelson Chamisa. Is that a big move for MDC? How does that influence the vote tomorrow? Will there be people who will say because President Mugabe has in quotes endorsed Nelson Chamisa, will they say, okay, now I'm changing from being ZANU-PF to being an MDC voter tomorrow?
I think nothing much really will change because of the press conference. The people have already made their decision in terms of who they're going to vote. Those that are strong MDC supporters, strong ZANU-PF supporters will go and vote for their respective parties. But yes, his subtle investment of Chamisa also confirms that they've been working together. Of course, he did not publicly acknowledge that. He said, no, we are not working together, he is doing well. But that subtle endorsement seems to suggest that yes, he has been working with him, probably giving him ideas on how to protect the vote, because he knows how they've been winning the elections, he knows all the tricks. So I think a support from Mugabe can actually be very advantageous for Chamisa in terms of understanding the whole election system, how it works. And also there are people who really sympathize with Mugabe, who were strong supporters of Mugabe, who believe that really Mugabe was their revolutionary leader and who brought change in their lives in terms of the land and everything. So I think those people really, they will not vote for ED. And if we see what has recently happened, where the former Deputy Minister of Education, Dr. Godfrey Kandao, he was speaking of Baram Sango, saying, I want my people want to vote for ED. So to me, it shows that yes, there are people within the G40 who are already supporting vote for Chamisa and saying don't vote for ED. So ED really has a great challenge in terms of those disgruntled G40 supporters, the likes of Jonathan Moyo, because they cannot afford not to have someone like Jonathan Moyo on their side, because he's a strong communicator and they don't have that kind of a person within their party, and that gift is now in the opposition. So
do you say, are you implying that the ZANU-PF campaign for this period was weakened?
I think their propaganda machine and everything, I think it was not as strong as in the past, because the likes of Jonathan were not part of that system even. So in terms of their communication and their strategy, I think it fell short for me if you compare it to Mugabe's era when you have people like Jonathan Moyo. So now the same Jonathan Moyo is communicating in favor of NDC, saying July 30. So
Professor Jonathan Moyo has been communicating, we don't know from which location, it's outside Zimbabwe, but it was mainly through social media. Do you feel that the social media campaign from whichever party was successful in this election? Based on my research, most of the MDC rallies were streamed live either on Facebook or on YouTube. If you go on YouTube, you can actually see most of the rallies. Do you feel that because the state broadcaster failed in a way, that social media became a source of information for Zimbabweans who are outside Zimbabwe?
I think social media indeed plays an important role in terms of communication, but in terms of the impact, in terms of votes, it may not be as strong because Zimbabweans with access to social media, things like Twitter and Facebook, we're looking at 15% of the electorate actually have got access to that. So that's not really a strong representation in terms of people who have got access. But I believe the social media factor also helps in terms of engaging the international community and raising that awareness of what's happening on the ground. So it's not only about Zimbabweans, it's also about the international community and every other player. They can access what's happening on the ground. That's why in this election, there isn't much talk about violence because of things like social media. It's very easy to censor a video on WhatsApp of what's happening in an election. So that's why we don't have, but if you look back 2008 and the years before, it was easy to perpetuate violence because there was no social media to quickly spread the message. So I think the social media era is helping us in terms of awareness of what's happening on the ground. But the impact in terms of voters, we're looking at maybe 15%, of which we are sharing them between some people and the same.
Okay.